Today we're going over boxing 101. Sometimes if you just started doing VR boxing and you haven't really gone to a gym to learn from someone, you don't know what you don't know. So today we're going over the basic foundational stuff. I'm definitely going to incorporate how it applies to virtual reality specifically. So we're taking 101 boxing and we're going to go over it all and see how things change when it comes to the virtual world. But really we're going to start building that foundation and make sure that you're not making basic mistakes. So number one, if you're right-handed, that doesn't necessarily mean that you fight right-handed. And I'm right-handed and I fought southpaw for 10 years. So whenever I was teaching, I always used to tell people to get into their fighting stance. And whatever stance they went into naturally is a stance that we worked from. If they went in right hand back, but were lefty, or one hand left hand back, but they were right-handers, whatever stance they fell into naturally when it comes to putting their one leg forward and one leg back. However they fell naturally is the stance that we worked in primarily. So if you're brand new, that's what I would tell you, is get into a comfortable stance. See what you naturally fall into. Maybe you're someone that feels comfortable both sides. I still think there is a little bit of, you maybe feel more natural if you throw a jab with the left versus with the right, or the other way around. I think there's still like a little bit of like a 60-40 split, even if you feel comfortable in both. So once you found your comfortable stance, we're gonna go heel to toe with our stance. The way we're gonna do this is my backside heel should be lined up with my front side toe. So if I'm facing you, my heel to toe, if I were to put a straight line, I should be able to put my heel and toe right on that line. That way I have some balance here. If I get pushed virtually or not, if I get pushed here, my heel on my right leg is my stopping point, and the opposite on the other one, my toe is the stopping point this way. I have a little bit of balance and movement here when it comes to forward with this front side toes, or the backside heel with going backwards. So again, get into your stance, heel to toe. Toe should go in a straight line to the heel. Now for your hands. I'm in my stance, my heel to toe is working. I used to tell people is, if you're brand new, you're gonna overdo the defense. So the way we can think about that is, if the sun is in your eyes and your hands wouldn't be sheltering your eyes, then your hands are too low. So if I'm here, I found my strong base. If my hands are here, would I be covering the sun from my eyes? No. Sure, I have this padding of boxing glove to protect me in the real world, but again, if you're new, I overdid it with defense. So we're here, hands all the way about eyebrows. That's where that sun's gonna be hidden. And I can stay here, I can parry here, I can counter here. But most of all, if I'm new, I'm protecting my head. Now for the footwork, I'm gonna keep it pretty basic. We could go over a lot of complicated motions. Even basic ones can get complicated if you try to learn it all at the same time. But here's something that helped me, and hopefully it helps you kind of fast track that. Whenever I'm moving, I'm taking tiny steps at a time. But not only am I taking tiny steps at a time, I'm also taking equal steps. I'm never gonna take a small step with a big step. Obviously, look at my feet. I'm never gonna take a big step and a small step because I'm too wide. So everything is equal. So everything is small step, small step, small step, small step. It's never big step, small step, and it's never small step, big step. So always equal steps, and if you're new, do them small. So if I'm here and we're sparring, I can just have micro steps. I'm not moving too much. If I move the back, I move the front, the equal amount of space, and I'm here flowing. Step, 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 step. Now we can use that logic with moving sideways too. Now remember, if I want to move to my right, do you think I would put my left leg first? Obviously not. It seems obvious, but until you kind of see it, maybe it's not the most obvious thing in the world. So if I'm moving to my right, as a lefty, my right leg's gonna go first, and then my left, and then my left going to my right. Now, if I wanna move to my right as a right-hander, it would be the same thing. Small step, small step. I would never go here first. I'm in my stance. If I'm going forward, small step, small step. Backward, back leg first, small step, small step. Sideways, small step, small step. Other way, lead leg. If I want to go to the left leg will start it. Small step, small step. And then over time, you start to mix that in. You start to add a little bit of a flow, and you start adding some offense and some head movement. But again, I am never small step, big step. I'm too narrow. Small step, small step, small step, small step, small step. That's all it is. This one's a little bit of a basic one, but again, if you've never been into a boxing gym, why would you ever know it? Like, why would you ever have to know it? I'm in my stance, front hand, no matter what stance I'm in, my front hand is a jab. I could be left-handed, have a right-handed jab. I could be left-handed and have a left-handed jab. But no matter what, the lead hand is always the jab, which is one. If someone was ever holding mitts or calling out a punch, if they said one would be your jab.
And number 2, you guessed it, is a cross. So your backhand cross. No matter what stance you're in, backhand is always the cross. If I'm right-handed, right hand is the cross. If I'm left-handed, left-handed is the cross. Whatever the backhand is will always be your cross. 1, 2. The 2 is the cross. 3 and 4 are gonna be hook spammer delight, 2 hooks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You typically wouldn't hit mitts like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, unless you're doing like cardio or something. But again, we're just going over basic knowledge stuff, okay? So bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is gonna be this uppercut here. 6 is gonna be the rear uppercut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's just foundational. There might be some gyms that do it a little bit different, but that's the basic foundational general way to go about it. Just so you are in the know, you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're welcome. With Thrill the Fight 2, when it comes to defense, I found it's either this one or this one. Sure, there's a gray area, don't get me wrong, but 2 big ones when it comes to defense are, I'm either slick with my movement, whether that's head movement or footwork, or I'm really good at shelling up and actually reading my opponent's offense and catching. So it always seems like the guard is either way up here to defend, or the guard is kind of at like chest level and really focusing on head movement. So let's talk about both. First, the blocking. If I'm in my stance, I'm in this shell, if I'm ever gonna have some sort of success with my blocking, I can't just have my hands up and hope these punches are gonna hit, this invisible force field that I have, because it's not the case. Your hands can only protect so much, and if there's a hook coming here, I can't just expect a hand up to protect it. I need to be cautious enough to see the hook coming from that direction and be in my stance, and when I see it coming from that direction, I answer the phone here and I stay tight, ready to counter on the inside, or maybe I catch that hook on the outside and I let that load up across on the inside of his guard there. But my point is that it's not just put your hands up and I should be protected. I have to be reading my opponent's offense here. Way harder said than done, I get it. My opponent is throwing and he throws a big old right hand and I catch here. Most likely that opposite hand is coming. So I know this way, I either have parries up the front hand, or maybe I completely shell up here. I can catch on this side or I can counter. But I do know now, if I hit this side, his hand just made impact here. I know this left side I have to worry about immediately. So I know immediately what I have to do on this side. I can at least read something's coming from this side. And then by his hips and his body motion, I can tell generally where it's gonna go and then try to block for that side. A rookie mistake is when people try to read and block and sit here and catch, they put their arms out. Although in Thrill the Fight, that may actually work because these are like titanium. But I wouldn't get in the habit. So I stay tight with this defense. I play this defense a lot too, and 85% success rate, just like it would be in real life, by the way. Things get sweaty, things slip through. Sometimes you go zig instead of zag, and the zig is a knockout, and the zag is barely surviving. So, it really is micro movements in a fight. So with that blocking, don't underestimate reading your opponent. Sitting right here, he throws the right hand, I block, I counter, and I'm sitting here waiting again. If he throws the right hand again, I can now block, but now with my footwork, I can start moving out the way and then countering here. So don't underestimate the prediction part of blocking. It's not just have your hands up. It's have your hands up with a purpose, reading the opponent, blocking to that side, and countering to make him pay. Now with head movement, when it comes to Thrill the Fight 2, currently right now, today, it is very risky to sit here and get too much head movement. With a lot of the damage coming from you moving into a punch, it seems like that really does amplify your chances. Just the other day, I had a match where my opponent was sitting perfectly still. I probably landed 6 to 8 monstrous hooks. I don't even think I got a stun. Dirtiest Jordan. If you're watching this, let me know, because I don't think I got a stun. I wasn't recording or anything. But then maybe like 30 seconds later, he came in and I landed 150% cross, but that move-in damage put him down. So again, I think the 6 should have put him down for sure. The cross should have maybe just like stunned him a bit, but it put him down all the way on the mat. My point is that we can't underestimate the move-in damage. So with that being said, think about head movement as this is super dangerous. What if he throws and I move in? That's always the risk in real life too. But with this amplifying that power, it seems even more so risky. Here's my advice with head movement. Let's practice our pull counters and let's practice our angles, getting out the way, and then counters. It's pretty risky in my opinion, either using the head movement to go left and right, even if I am using proper form, unless you're really reading your opponent. He throws a jab and you know you're really slipping off to that side. Because anytime, as you see, anytime that I'm moving into something, if I misread and I am going into something, the game amplifies that damage, as it should. So with the current version amplifying that damage, at least that being the primary source of the damage, I would practice on your head movements and all your evasive movements being retreats. And now think about it. If someone's playing the first style of defense, the majority of people do this one where their hands are way too high, body work all day long. That'll at least lower those hands a little bit. And then that high guard typically goes up like this, which leaves like a giant opening on the side of their ears. Hooks are landing all day for me on the side of the ears. So don't aim for the back of the head, obviously, right? But you're aiming for that lack of answering the phone and simply just them putting the high guard. And then number two, offensively, we can think about it. If head movement, or at least movement into strikes, is causing more damage, then now I can start baiting people to move in certain ways that I want them to move. Maybe every time I throw a big left hand, my opponent circles away as they should. So maybe I want to feint the left hand, let that load up my hips, and let that load up a big right hand. That way he's going into the strike. So we can reverse engineer that defense and use it for the offense thought. Finally, if you're brand new and you go into ranked and you're like, okay, punch head as many times as I can, and there's not really that much of a plan, what I would advise you is take 2 or 3 combinations to practice. Maybe it's a simple cross hook, which is a 2-3. Or maybe it's just a double jab cross. And I'm not saying do that on repeat, but go into a match and try to practice those 2 movements completely with the attitude of experimenting. You know, I can sit right here in the pocket and throw a 2-3 with a little bit of retreat on it. You know, maybe I take a back step with the 2, and then I let my lead leg even it out with the hook. Or maybe the opposite, or maybe I really want to step through with this cross or really cover ground, and that way this big right hand is loaded and I can really unload it in the pocket. Or maybe you're finding out that the left hand isn't landing as much as you like, so you need to fake beforehand. So you're here ready to fake the first movement. I'm here, fake it, add a little crow hop, and then you can hit your combination. So you can see it this way. Here, fake the left hand, let that load the hips, small crow hop, let it load the cross, boom, boom. So we can take these 1, 2, 3 combinations and practice them just in waves and fights at a time. Find out what works, what doesn't work. Something may not just be your style or your body type, and it's just not a move that really works for you, and you'll have to adapt and adjust it accordingly. Luckily, it's virtual reality and there's no consequence of getting hit. This was the kind of information that you're looking for, boxing information, how it directly relates to virtual reality. I think this is a growing sport. It's just the beginning. So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve here. So get ahead of the curve with me by subscribing now. Check out these other 2 videos if you want more content like this.